Hi everyone! As I stated before, I really have nothing else to lose. I want to start by saying that I have always felt that when there is evidence of a wrong that has been committed, it should be made public. This is especially so when the wrong is being committed by a member of a group created to protect the rights of people and ensure that written laws are being upheld. From the smallest of course to the highest, the judicial branch is one that has the most power and as such should be held to the highest of the standards. One of which is that there should never be the smallest indication of unethical conduct by any judge. As you have seen in previous posts, I had a case that went through Christy Mann's courtroom. I am the mother of a 10-year-old child. A child that I raised on my own as a single mother for 8 years without the help of the biological father. The biological father had not been in her life for almost 7 years due to his drug addiction and his constant criminal behavior that put him in and out of jail. He's currently still serving 9 years probation. 2 years ago, Christy Mann gave a ruling that would ensure I would not be able to see my child and that would ensure that I would have very little contact with her. She tried to force me to move out of the state that I live in by leaving the child with the biological father, a drug addict, convicted felon, and abuser. She ignored all the evidence of abuse and neglect that I submitted to her court. She ignored all the text messages, emails, and voicemails where he stated that he will make sure that he did not allow me to see or talk to my daughter except for when he wanted to. All those threats that were given year after year, every time that I ever had contact with him, have now become a reality. I have not seen my daughter in over 2 years, and I'm only allowed to talk to her twice a week. I have no idea where she goes to school. I have no idea who her doctor is. I have no access to medical or school records. I don't even know if she has a doctor. Furthermore, Ms. Mann never signed a permanent order. That in itself is against North Carolina law. It has always been my belief that she did all of this on purpose because she is aware that per North Carolina law, I am unable to file an appeal unless I have a permanent written order signed and filed by her. Now I believe this even more. 2 years ago, I was not under the right emotional state because of everything that was happening. Going through family court is very stressful. And I wasn't aware that Ms. Mann was running for re-election. I found out after the trial was over. Recently, I was able to get a hold of her donation records and found out that Ms. Mann had received over $60,000 in contributions from family law attorneys in the Charlotte Mecklenburg area. The majority of these attorneys belong to big law firms that are constantly in and out of her courthouse. As a matter of ethics, if the attorneys would have equally contributed to Ms. Mann's opponent, this would not have raised a red flag for me. However, they didn't. They only contributed to her campaign. Because the attorney for the opposing party, in my case, donated to Ms. Mann's campaign also, I would really love to know how Ms. Mann has been ruling for the clients of the other attorneys who also contributed. I am going to continue to investigate this matter, and if there is any indication that this woman has ignored evidence presented against the clients of any of the attorneys who donated to her campaign, I will find it. If there is anyone out there who believes that this judge did not rule appropriately in their case, I ask you to please contact me. If any of the attorneys who have not contributed at any point to her campaign have a case that is going in front of this woman, I urge you to look at her campaign records and see if the attorney for the opposing party donated to her. Because if she ignores evidence, if she oversteps her judicial boundaries, especially for an attorney that contributed to her campaign, then there is a serious ethical violation that needs to come to light and needs to be dealt accordingly. I tell you something. There was a time when I was a busy single mom raising a young child on my own. Miss Mann ensured that I would no longer have access to that child and made me just a determined woman who has absolutely nothing better to do than continue to investigate her so that I can bring to light all of her shortcomings. Thank you very much for everyone who watched this, and if you can please share it, I would really appreciate it.